productive relationship with Microsoft and its partners. And we are very, very pleased that we are partnering with the iconic company of the IT world, Microsoft, which in many ways I think exemplifies to the world what technology is about. I should say parenthetically that Bill Gates was 2 years ahead of me in college. I should have bought Microsoft in 1979, but I didn't. But the point is that we are partnering with the top company and its contractors. And that I think is important. I mean, in a way we are setting the bar. We are saying that IUB is a university which works with people at the cutting edge of technology. And I can't think of a better example of that than Microsoft. I mean, in one word it exemplifies. And we are saying that we are buying into this dream of getting all of us, students, the faculty, our admin colleagues, onto the bandwagon, which is about, okay, how do we get technology to make our lives better? And it's with that hope and aspiration that I welcome you again, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of our partners how we can increase the possibility set of the university. Thank you very much.
Independent University is one of the leading teaching and research private universities in Bangladesh. And since its opening in 1993, yes, we have dedicated ourselves in finding solutions to the challenges and also preparing our students for this complex world to be leaders. And this is where I think what Professor Rahman said, that the trustees, our vision has been to take our students forward and make them leaders and be an enabler in this whole world, prepare them for it. Unlike other places, partnerships with universities, with large software companies it's quite prominent, and it's coming up. Companies like Microsoft are taking place in the developed world. And as a founder, every step forward, I see that it's a joy to see us going forward. It is a joy to see the students grow, and it is also a joy to see independent university grow. And this partnership, this collaboration between Microsoft and independent university should be proactive in nourishing the relationship and making it deeper in cooperation in the space of knowledge and technology. And I come from the private sector, and I would like to see that each and every student is prepared for this world. And the world of work is undergoing a major process of change. There are several forces transforming it, from onward march of technology to the impact of climate change, to the way, the character of how production and employments are going on around the world. And in order to understand and respond effectively to all these questions and all these challenges, cooperations like this would definitely give independent university an edge, and to understand and prepare our students for this massive transformation that is going on, which is the future of work. We are kind of partnership with Microsoft will be important enabler in doing so, and we look forward to your all collaboration. And as Professor Rahman said, we want to be the first. I like being first. I was never first in class, but I like being first and bringing this to the world of education. And as a private university, we as a board of trustees, we have actually given them a blank check, not check, but checks. So for them to bring all kinds of new innovation and technology to this. Research is something that we are also focusing on. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, I welcome this partnership, and I hope that this will go a long way, and good luck. Thank you.
To talk about the modernizing classroom with Microsoft technology, I would like to welcome Dr. Rani Birchmore, Education Partner Director, Microsoft APAC, to come up on stage and give her valuable remarks.
The partnership. Now, I was told to talk a little bit about modernizing classroom and from my experiences from around the region. Now, when I was thinking, what do I say? What am I going to say that is going to inspire and talk to all the many changes that is happening? So in true Microsoft style, I'm going to talk to you about what we are seeing out there in the industry first, and then bring it back to the modern classroom. When I go through news, and I go through some of the fundamental issues that are being faced, these are the news articles that sort of come up. And we sort of sit back and we think and we say, hey, why is there student unemployment when they leave the education system? What are some of the main issue areas that governments in general are looking at? And how do we then, as Microsoft, as part of this ecosystem, work towards helping, being a tool, being part of the transformation and change that is required to address some of these prominent issues? And then we come back, and the traditional is what you see in schools, and the next image is what happens in real life. It's expedited and it's changing very rapidly. Information travels very fast and you need to be very quick to learn and adapt. So the goal, I guess, for modernizing a classroom isn't about just the learning technologies that exist there, but what happens in a learning environment. Where does information come from? Where does information go out? And whether it's in-time resource that is coming to me or not. So when this evolution is happening at a very, very rapid pace, the question then becomes, how does Microsoft and our partner network, the huge ecosystem that we have, that touches you every day, how do we together work and what do we look at from a Microsoft perspective to provide? Now what you're seeing on the screen is our lingo. This is a Microsoft lingo, not usually what is understood in education. So if I change that, what does that mean to the students and teachers? It becomes about reinventing the experiences, about more personal engagement and using intelligent means from cloud services to be able to give you that information exchange to enrich your learning experiences in a learning environment, be it inside a classroom, a lecture hall, or anywhere else. So the four fundamental things that we look at, and this partnership is definitely looking at least 3 or 4 of what you're seeing there, is our priorities when we are looking at teaching and learning. Today you will hear from Dr. Mahu, who really talks about how to transform teaching and learning inside a classroom and externally in a learning environment. We also hear about what kind of efficiencies we can bring to the connected campus experience. Usually the business of schools, as what we call it, which is all the businesses, all the processes and the actual business of running a campus, and learning and development or learning experiences are usually divided. But the real truth that we see in developed markets, in emerging markets, in developing markets, is that when these two things come together and they are in synergy, the learning experience in the classroom or the learning environment gets enriched. So this isn't just about getting an Office product or a Windows to you. This is about making sure that the learning technology that comes not just automates teaching and learning, but also enhances the process and the experience by giving you information from around the campus in different components of learning technologies as is today. So for me as an educator myself, transformation can only happen when the right technology deployed the right way to embrace all the teachers and the students is bedded down in pedagogical theory so that we can actually do real transformation. that is really, really important, because without all of these ingredients, the challenges, and what you see as needing to transform so that we run a institution that develops students with employability, not just in your country, but across the world. Now, interestingly enough, after many hours of conversation, it was captured in this line, and I thought that was really interesting. The evolution of content, pedagogy, and technology obviously was rated with proper vision and structured change management that was required. So they asked me, they were very cheeky, so they asked me, Rani, you teach, how do you teach? So I said, well, I get on a webinar, I have about 35 students every fortnight, and my students are based out of Africa to Mongolia. I don't really teach, I facilitate, because they come with the knowledge or the context that is required, the concepts that is required to underpin that day's session. And I really only give them context and facilitate for them to come up with the answers. And so that's an easy job for a lecturer. And I said, it is only easy if I'm not providing context. It's only easy if I'm not guiding them to professor's comment before. We need to make sure that the content that it comes in is validated, it's right. It's not something that somebody read from Wikipedia. My 9-year-old son will, bet by Wikipedia that that information is correct. But how much of Wikipedia is truly correct? So we need to do that validated process. So when we had this forum and we talked about it, they said the experience, when all of these things comes together, that small piece in the middle, when we hit that nail, that's when true transformation happens in learning. And I think the things that we are here for today is a great, great and fundamental, because I think we need some strong universities to take a stand back and say, these are all the challenges we have, but we're going to put a stamp, we're going to put a mark in the field, and we are going to go after it. And I think that's when we can see the learnings come, and that's when we can accelerate our transformation. So the one last thing that I would say is, they talked a lot about content here, and really what we are talking about here is, for me, is the change in the way our facilitators, our teachers, and the teaching methodology needs to change from being a sage on stage to a faculty facilitator or somebody who is orchestrating learning with their knowledge and the value and bringing context to conversations, and that's a huge transformation. And I think technology, right technology being put in place, will help that transformation and make that pain a little bit less. With that said, I just want to say, I won't be from Microsoft if I don't put up a Microsoft image. So there it is. And thank you.
Wrote the first email, who sent the first email. My career in IT started as a hobbyist when I was when I bought my first computer, a Commodore 1964, Commodore 64, when I was about 18 years old. So now I'm 53, so you can imagine that's a few years back. Since then, basically, I've been in IT. I could have given also a very interesting digital transformation story here, but I'm going to take it in a little bit different direction. We've been talking about education and how we transform education, but there's a bit of a back end as well that you need to manage when you run an institution like this with 6,000 students and 400 teachers. I guess you have your fair share of documents and papers as well that maybe complicate your life on a day-to-day basis. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. So Enadoc is a product of Tech1 Global. So besides being the facilitator of this agreement, TechOne Global is a regional partner of Microsoft, and we are the largest document management company in Southeast Asia, or South Asia as we can say as well. We are a Microsoft Gold partner ever since we founded the company. I'm one of the founders of the company. And the last 3 years, we are the most awarded Microsoft partner in the APAC region. So besides our office here in Bangladesh, we have offices in other countries, and we have around 500 people in total. Many of them are, all of them are either specialized in Microsoft products or in document management. Those are our two pillars, and in education it all comes together because we provide the solutions for learning and we provide the solutions for the back office operation as well. So Enadoc, maybe this is a bit more product oriented than the previous presentations, but it's a good chance for you to have an insight on what's happening as well with solutions. So Enadoc is a document management solution in itself. It's a cloud-based document management solution, but it also integrates with services. For example, if you have 6,000 students, I'm sure you have millions of documents in your files. Converting them and transforming that whole operations part digitally requires a lot of effort. We provide the services at what we call BPO services. Is there a laser pointer here? BPO services. Then we provide the solutions around Microsoft SharePoint, so workflow, for example, admission, filing of documents and things could happen all inside the workflow together in synchronized way with the learning platform that Dr. Mohol is going to talk about. So Enadoc is basically a solution that works on the cloud or on-premise. It's a world-class type of solution that use all the best practices. If the solution is based on-premise, you can use the Microsoft servers to do that, but really the solution shines when it runs in the cloud, because we use all the technology of Microsoft Azure in the back. We are logged in. We work very closely with Microsoft on security and authentication, so when you log into Enadoc, you will use your Microsoft Office 365 credentials. So all the security about your student records and any other document that you store is managed by those credentials. So easy to set up, easy to access, but fully secured. You can capture documents in big volumes using big scanners. So if you have a big backend of documents that need to be converted, we do that. But you can also use Enadoc Capture, which is a browser-based solution. We even have Enadoc Capture also for mobile phones, so you can capture documents on the mobile phone. So if you have a requirement to capture in the field or in the classroom where you don't necessarily have a scanner, you can actually use mobile scanner as well from your phone. Then we use a process of tagging the documents. So after you have uploaded the documents to Enadoc, they get tagged. Tagged are keywords that are extracted from the documents themselves. We again use Microsoft Cortana Analytics and intelligence in the cloud to provide this kind of solution. We use Microsoft Optical Character Recognition as well. Then we use machine learning, which is very interesting because as we discussed earlier today before we started the presentation, there are a lot of technology available now in the cloud that you really also should bring into the classroom. One of them is artificial intelligence and machine learning. This week we have 6 of our engineers in Sri Lanka attending an artificial intelligence program at the Sri Lanka University SLIT, where they attend machine learning and artificial intelligence programs. Those are the things that you can actually have access to directly in the Azure cloud as an institution. So something that I really want you to explore. We as a company, we are hiring as many data scientists as we can get up. We found that the cloud is more secure than any on-premise solution today, simply because it's difficult to keep up with the technology that changes almost on a daily basis. IT security people, I'm sure in your IT department you are facing these kind of struggles every single day, that you are prone to hackers, you are prone to malware and things like this. Even our company, we face that every day. They say there are only 2 types of companies in the world: those have been hacked and those who doesn't know that they have been hacked. So good luck. After the documents have been uploaded, they're analyzed and so on, they're easy to find using the tag cloud. You can use the tag cloud and refine the search. If you use a mobile device, for example, or a touch-based computer such as the Microsoft Surface device, you can actually touch the screen and trace yourself through and find the documents without typing anything. It also is a solution that encourages data exploration because of the tag cloud. It's more of a three-dimensional way to approach the document. So this is a typical student records shown in Enadoc, and here are files with all kind of different tags. If you look at the slide as it changed, as we start to select tags, you will see documents are being found, and other kind of tags appear. So based on the tags that we select, other tags are associated with that will show up. So now we can go back, so we can go forth and back in a three-dimensional way to explore the data we have. So instead of being a back-end filing system, now suddenly your data in your documents become an ability you have to mine data, to look at, for example, I want to see all students that has filed a certain thesis in the last 5 years. You can simply select that thesis and you can see all the students that have filed that, and you can then go back and recall that and study it. So there's a lot of ways you can use Enadoc for also improving education, not only for keeping your back end clean and neat. So Enadoc is scalable because the cloud is fully scalable. If you want to have an intake next year of another 4,000 students, I'm sure that you will be facing some challenges, but I'm sure one of the challenges is not how to store the documents, because Enadoc is completely scalable using that backend. The other thing is the security. We have found that there's no other security which is better than what you will find on Enadoc in the cloud. So Enadoc is available on the cloud, it's available on-premise, and we can also provide Enadoc as a private cloud. So that means if you have a private Azure where you do all your other things that you need to do in Azure, all your research and all your other things that you can deploy in the cloud, you can as well run your document management there. Okay? I have another 10 slides which go into some details about how it works, but I think you probably got the idea here, so thank you very much.
21 countries in total. And we're a social enterprise, and what does that mean? It means for us that apart from our financial performance, which is always important for our shareholders, we also very closely measure our impact. So if we put technology somewhere, how well it's used and the difference it makes is as important as how much we charge for it and how much profit we make. And that for us actually works very well in education, because education is really all about impact. And so, as a company, we've been around for over 10 years. We are, I think, Microsoft's only global partner in education currently. And we have a huge base of learners. Our largest implementation is in the UK. We have a national contract for the country of Wales, so over 600,000 children, students on the platform, which is important because it shows that it scales, it works, it performs, and it says to us that we're over the technology challenges. The challenges now are about education, not the technology itself. So one of the things we did many years ago, we built our solution on Microsoft Office 365, because we know that that is the platform of choice for most private sector companies. Those are the skills that most employers seek, and if using the platform they get those skills, then we're all in a good place. So what is the answer that we came up with? Number one, it's not about the curriculum. It's not about what you teach them. That's all good. It's about the delivery mechanism. Give it to the students in a way that they can consume it easily. Okay? The second biggest challenge, and it's something Professor Omar and I were talking about, is you have to get the faculty on board. Many people, even people like me who remember a time before the internet, have learned skills of how to deliver what we do without technology. Learning technology now means we've got to relearn a lot of the things that we thought we knew. So there is a challenge there. And then the third is that in a lot of places, including Bangladesh, there are some technology issues, and we need to think about how we address them. And so what we, Microsoft and Tech One, are signing an agreement for this, because that is an enterprise tool that gives you all the skills that you need to basically go out and get a job. You learn how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, you learn how to communicate through tools like Skype, you learn how to collaborate on SharePoint. That actually gives you, a lot of learning. The second is that build a solution. So, this is an enterprise platform. How do we make it into an educational platform? And there are two things that you have to do. One is that you have to take only the tools out of this wide range of tools on Office 365 that are relevant in education, that are known to drive positive educational outcomes, and you put them in a simple format so you can train somebody in 20 minutes. If you can train somebody in 20 minutes, they're likely to start using it. You don't have to train them to do everything, you have to get them to start using it, build the confidence. So this is the challenge we've taken on. And the third is the technology issue. If it works on my smartphone, if it works on my tablet, if it works online and offline, it means I can be sitting on a bus going home doing my work. That changes the dynamic of, and the question, what is a classroom? Every space is a classroom, if you enable it through the technology. Okay, so what have we done about this? We've been for 10 years running research. So, and the research is, becoming very consistent, that it engages children. We all know this, students love technology. If you're using technology, it changes the dynamic, it engages them. It enhances collaboration, it brings better communication skills. And what it starts to do is brings, the digital tools we need in the classroom. In Wales, we've even gone further. Yes. So the cost saving is the productivity, because so what we have done is, and I can send you the details, there is an actual breakdown of how the cost saving is achieved. But if you look at the time for preparation, the time for distribution, the savings on paper, you're not photocopying things and handing them out, the quality assurance, the leadership, overseeing delivery of the courses, it shows you how to break that down and how to achieve that. And when you look at that number, $50,000 per annum, that was for only a 300 pupil study. So when you look at it across, an institution of this magnitude, the savings could actually be phenomenal, because, and I will email you the details of how to achieve that. So what have we done to kind of further this? One of the things we've done to further this is we've worked with the government in Wales, and it's available on the internet, you can find this, is to build a framework. If there is a framework that says that at each level, these are the skills a student needs, and this is how we can assess them, then what happens is that we change a paradigm. The paradigm used to be that I can deliver all my curriculum without technology, the student will still get a grade A, so why do I need to change? Employment is the obvious answer, but this actually gives another answer, which is that it is now part of the curriculum they have to learn. So we've worked with them to develop a set of skills, which means that it has to be taught in some way, somehow, and that makes it a bit more relevant. And this is also available on the internet, but look at what it's done, the bottom statistic. 85% of schools, and this is out of the whole country, are logging in every month, at least. And 64% are good active users. So the usage can be developed very quickly if some of these principles are adopted. So, and this is my geography class, so only the geography students see it. You've got that ability. So if you're running hundreds and thousands of classes, you've segregated everything, everybody's able to just work in that space. And all of the things here work, straight out of here. So there's no need, if you don't want to go outside the space. You can have a look at things here. But if you click on any of the titles, what that tends to do is take you back into Office 365. Now this is important for two big reasons. One is that this is where all your data is. What that means is that if in a year's time you think, well, we don't need this bit of the software, it's fine, your data is on your tenancy. It's not like other learning platforms where it's in a complex database and you lose everything and you have to start again. It's all here. You can see it's on Office 365, on SharePoint, there's a blog. And the second is that whether you use this element or you use the LP Plus element, it's the same thing. The data seamlessly crosses over. So there is no issue about using one or the other, which gives you, from a technological perspective, an e-maturity model. You might have people in your computer science department who are advanced users who find this too simple. They can use the full Office 365 and whatever they're doing is visible here. You don't have to worry about changing that. And so what we have is some ability to manage resources up here. We have some collaborative tools here, so you can have discussions and surveys. I also have a class notebook. So a class notebook is effectively a digital notebook. And the beauty about a digital notebook here is that it's configured in such a way that I have one for every class that I take, and if I'm a professor, I have one for every class that I teach. Now, that means that at the end of the class, if I again want to share some notes, or I want to set a quiz, or I want to put some homework up, I have an option to do that straight here. I can just pick what I want. It'll add a virtual page to every student's notebook with that information.
How do you share this with the students?
The students have the same thing, so they see everything that's on here. So if I put up my class notes on here, the student's notebook will already have that on theirs. And the beauty is, I have an app on here called Notebook, so it'll synchronize with this. It is then available offline. So, works absolutely seamlessly. And again, you can see it works on Chrome, it'll work on iPhone, it'll work on a tablet. It's totally seamless. And you see, if I...
But you don't have to secure information for the teacher. How do you sort of separate that?
So, what...
The student don't see exactly the same kind of...
So what happens is that you set up a class note. This will automatically set up a geography class notebook. The teacher then has those 4 sections. If the teacher places something in those sections, all the students will see it. That's all they see. As a teacher, I can see all of my students' notebooks. So if they're doing homework, I can see it. With a pen, I can mark it or highlight it or add marks or whatever. But they can only see their own. They can't see anything else. As a teacher, I can see theirs, but they will get one in every class they go to. I will get one for every class that I teach. So it is the same as the paper-based notebook, but it's completely digitized it and made it offline on any device.
We have 300 students. We have
You can see in each class all of those students, yes. Which also gives very possible. And the last thing that I will say is that if you look here in my calendar, I see an assignment calendar here. So every time an assignment is set, it's in my calendar, I can see it. So again, this idea of building discipline, having things in your calendar with timelines for you to complete and submit. And this comes with a lot of help. Lots of ideas about how to teach, lesson plans, practices. So today in Asia, that's one of the questions I was asked earlier, where do we work? We've got active pilots running in Sri Lanka, also with Asia Pacific University in Malaysia, with a school in Singapore about to take off. So, in the last 6 months we've actively started that. We also have projects in Oman, in Nigeria running, and in the UK we have a very large number of students. So thank you for listening so intently, and thank you for your time. Thank you so much.